Welcome to Sunday Night Spaces with AltJake and George, live on YouTube.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Sunday Night Spaces for March 29th, 2026. Almost done with March into April. To guide us through tonight, this wacky world of wrestling that we all enjoy so much, the host of the show, AltJake.
Thank you, sir. Hello. Yeah, no, I didn't realize that you said it out loud. I'm like, oh shit, yeah, March is like over. Yeah, no, I always have to pay attention because again, being on the West Coast, I wake up, even if it's like 8 or 9 a.m. my time or even earlier, I'm still behind on Eastern time. So I have like all the April Fool's jokes. There's usually one or two that are out there that almost get me every year. I gotta
can't wait for that.
Right. No, you got to stay diligent on that. People online love to do that and get people with it. And that just, is so much. No, I'm not either. And that's why when you said it, that was like the first thing that pinged into mind. And so, yeah, no, that was, I'm glad you said it because I might not have thought about it. But looks like we got a few people in the chat already here. Thank you, everybody. Ewan Cumi is here. Brad's here. We got, we'll I don't know how long we'll go tonight. We don't have to at least review everything. We'll review SmackDown, but then we'll see how people want to go with super chats and what they got in. I know George and I got a few topics we want to talk about as well, but it'll be fun. It'll be good here. I'm excited for Sundays. This is one of those things that, we started this a little over a year ago. It's like an idea and a practice. Like, we'll see if this will work as an experiment. That was the word I was looking for. Yeah. And now it's like literally what I look more forward to the most. And we went from doing it on live on Spaces to now doing it here on YouTube and using StreamYard. It's good. I'm having fun with it. This is good. How are you tonight, my friend?
You know what? Doing very well considering it's been a hectic weekend, but I feel good today. I'm surprised, actually.
Nice. That's good. That's good. That's good. Did you have any specific topics you wanted to get into before? I mean, I know we've got a few different things. We've got SmackDown we can talk about and other different things, but usually on Sundays we kind of start with some. I never know what we're gonna go. What George is gonna throw at me on Sunday.
Yeah, I didn't have much to go with. I just wanted to. This is this week and next week Sunday are the last Sundays to be involved in the contest. Your super chats go toward an entry into the contest. If you can't do a super chat, you can always type in contest in the comment section when the video has posted.
Yeah, and it's fun to see the different people that always make sure to get that comment. And people will leave a comment and come back and like, wait, I forgot to leave this one. Give you a contest. That's good. That's
the
fun.
list is growing, which is good.
Yeah, no, and it's been a fun time. It's something that's a little bit something that we get to actually celebrate and enjoy with hitting our 500 subscriber mark, and we inch ever closer to that 1,000 mark. It's going to be a bit, but I'm excited for it. It's been it comes in way. I still never really understand how the YouTube thing will work. We'll go like weeks where we'll get like 2 new subscribers or like 5, and then I'll have like 12 in a day and a half. Like, okay, sure, or whatever, like 15 in one. I've stopped trying to worry about it. That's for sure. I've stopped trying to think about it on that. Looks like we got somebody trying to hear coming in here with some media assets there. Woo! You and Cumi coming in with $9.99 for the first super chat of the night. And raise your hand if you want Sami to lose at WrestleMania. Let me find the raise hand. Where is the raise hand emoji? Let me put that in the chat right now. I am all for that. Not even if it was Trick, but I just think that this needs to be Sami's heel turn, which we'll get into for sure. But I definitely, I think a lot of people want to go.
Made sense when Trick, when Aldis said, let's head into it. Who cares? When Aldis told him what he told him.
I mean, I could just pull it up here. The show started with Randy and Cardona having a little spat, but then it went to this. And this is actually probably the thing I wanted to talk about most in the show anyway. So we could start off with what were you gonna say? No, I
forgot. I'm done.
Oh, my bad. Sorry, I mean, I'm excited about this. For Trick. I mean, we have been on, especially I have been on driving the Trick train for a long time on it from NXT over to the main roster, and we knew he was going to get a WrestleMania match, and I kind of thought it might be Carmelo Hayes, and I still think he could sneak his way into that maybe, but. I mean, it seemed like for the longest time it was going to be building to Trick versus Sami. I thought they could have done it without the U.S. title, and it would have been fine. But I understand why they want to do it because they want to make sure you get the title in for it. I think the only downfall of it is going to be what happens to Carmelo, but I've got a couple ideas for him. So, but this is exciting for Trick. This is cool. I'm excited for him for sure. This is pretty much, I mean, the biggest moment. I mean, I'm not sure what's a bigger moment, this or for Oba taking on Brock. I mean, Trick's going to win a belt at WrestleMania. It's exciting though. I'm really looking forward to it. That's where, you know, I think most people are kind of in that same boat of the Sami fatigue. I mean, we've all kind of felt it, but it seems like they're going with it. They're like leaning into that with his freaking out and starting to be a jerk to Cody and a jerk to other people. And then let's be real, everybody knows that Trick is only acting like a heel. He's a baby face at this point. I feel like, I don't know.
I did like Sammy's light bulb moment when Aldis told him that this is the big time. We don't have room for you. And he started walking away and the light bulb went up and he popped him. I'm like, all right, that works.
Yeah, you're right. You know, that is a good point. I forgot about that. That was a good point at the beginning of it, where it kind of settles him in where, I mean, it really sets him up to have a good heel turn and maybe not do, he doesn't do the same like conspiracy theory crap that he was doing before under Vince, but this will work, I think. And, you know, if anybody needs a change in gimmick, or like, you know, JR would used to say, go away and learn a new hold, but if they're not going to have him go away,
he's not going away.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think
you're just going to get the classic WWE double turn here, which is fine. I'm
right
all for the doubles.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I think going into it should be, I mean, I think pretty much the double turn is going to start with the music hits. I mean, people will sing along for Sami, but like people are going to be chanting "whoop that Trick" the whole time. And we can get into that part of it as we get into the match of it. But also, Randy came out and Cardona came out and fought him. And then, you know, it's funny how Aldis is like setting up to where people were thinking, oh, he could have a feud with Drew. He could easily have a feud with Randy at this point, too, with the way it goes. I mean, look at Randy's veins and how his eyes are bulging. Like, Aldis is getting in people's faces. I feel like it's a fun way of him going about being the GM.
How old is Nick Aldis?
He's young. Younger. I think he's 39, I believe. I will look it up right now. I believe.
Because I don't know how much. He hasn't done anything in a while, so I don't know if I'd like to see him in the ring. I love what he's doing now. It's perfect.
Yeah, I was right. He turned 39 in November.
Okay.
The only reason I know that is because I watched a Chris Van Vliet interview with him recently where he said he was 38. And it's funny because if you listen to him interviewed and Pierce, it's different in certain parts of it, like where both of them get asked if you're going to have a match or be in the ring again anytime soon. And Pierce is kind of like very, you know, hey, I'm done. Never say never, but I'm good with it. I'm happy. I'm done. Aldis is like, I got my boots every week. Like, you know what I mean? He seems to be like, I'm here. I'm happy to do it. Also, like, I'm not saying Pierce is out of shape by any means, but like Nick bursts through those suits, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, like Nick fills his suits out. Never mind that.
Yeah, they're tailored perfectly.
Yeah, well, but you can tell he's set to like he's still working out. He's still very built. His wife is Mickey James, so he's obviously got.
Me. Yeah,
he's always ready, you know. And I just think that's. I think it makes a lot of sense at some point for Nick to have a match, and that's why I think he gets more involved with it. I still thought it was going to be Nick and Pierce having a match at some point, but I really don't think Adam Pierce wants to. I think he's happy where he's at. He's good with it. I do think Pierce wants to wrestle, and that's where you see a little difference in those promos, or in those backstage back and forth.
Yeah, Aldis might, but I don't know if they want to take that move.
Right. You're gonna have to make it. It's gonna have to be something where it's gotta have to make sense and be the right move for it. And that's where, you know, that's the thing about WWE with their logic. They really do make things, even if it's a loose thread, the thread is there for it. So but I'm excited for it. I want to see what happens with him. I feel like it's going to happen sometime sooner than later. And somebody said it, like, what if they do a pay-per-view in England again? Like, you know, not Scotland, not Wales, not Northern Ireland. That's all the UK, but like actually England, close enough where, you know, his mom can come and something. I could see it. I
can see him maybe being on the house show there.
Yeah. Okay. There you go.
As a special thing for the people.
You know, I could see that.
Not televised, just for them.
That's not a terrible plan the way you say it. Like, it really isn't. But yeah, then you had the tag situation that's really setting up to kind of prove that it's just going to be a 4-way, no matter who wins. I feel like tomorrow on Raw, you're setting up to have, you know, all 4 women's tag teams in there with it, whether it's, you know, it's Lash and Nia, the Bellas, Charlotte and Alexa, and then Bayley and Lyra. And this is just a great way of getting everyone on the card. You know, it's one of those situations that, let's be real, how many people were really going to be looking forward to a tag match in that situation. That's going to be like, you know, the main seller of it. No one's going specifically or watching specifically for that, but it's nice to have it on the card. So get as many as you can in there, you know, especially that way. Then you can have both women's title matches be singles matches versus having to have a triple threat. Cause what's Charlotte going to do, or what's Alexa going to do, or something like that, or Bailey, you know, that kind of puts them all into that realm. Same with the women's intercontinental title. You can keep it just as Becky and AJ. It kind of works out for everybody.
This will be your bathroom break match or
I mean, yeah. You don't want to be mean about it, but kind of it's in that sense. Plus, let's be real. It's also that the Bellas can win. Like the Bellas, which they deserve, honestly. I've said this before. Like a lot of people talk crap about the Bellas and like Michelle McCool for what they were. And yeah, for what, if you look at them with today's eyes, of course their matches were short and terrible, and they're probably. But if you look at it, the fact of like you were only getting 6 minutes, and that included both women's entrances, and there might have been a commercial. You know, like it's a different world, and the Bellas did, for good or bad, get a lot of eyes onto the product with it. A lot of people got in through Total Divas or Total Bellas. So them having a WrestleMania moment close enough to home, Vegas to Phoenix, where they can have that winning the women's tag titles for the first time, it just makes sense. And then you can also get, you know, what's that, 6 other women into the match and on a Mania card. So they can all have their Mania moment. It's fine. I got no issues.
I don't like it, but it's got to be done. So whatever.
Right. Yeah. And I kind of look at it more of like, yeah, it's got to be done, and it doesn't matter what I like. And I don't mind it. You know, it's also one of those things. Yeah. Where you can kind of take a little break with it and not get, you know, you're not going to lose too much with that.
You got 2 nights. I mean, you got to fill stuff somewhere. So I get
it. And you got 2 nights, and it's 2 nights, and yes, it is 2 nights, but it's a much bigger roster, and you know, not everybody is full time, but they can be not full time for a reason, and they're going to be on the Mania card. Hey, at least this year we've so far, knock on wood, we're not going to have any like, you know, we're not getting like Rock making a comeback to have a match, or like, you know, even Stone Cold with it, where it was fun, it was great with it when he did it right against Kevin Owens. You don't have a legend who's technically retired or off TV coming back to take up too much space of it. You're always going to have a celebrity with Jelly Roll, and that's.
Hey, I got to fix something real quick. I'll be right back.
You're good. Yeah, you're good. And I've heard a lot of people kind of complaining about the Jelly Roll situation with it, and it's one of those things where he's not for me. He is not somebody that I am into musically, or even really knew who he was before he was on WWE TV. But just like with Bad Bunny. You know, that doesn't, just because it wasn't for me. I didn't know who Bad Bunny was till he came out. What was it, during 2021 with Booker T singing the Booker T song? That's the first time I heard of Bad Bunny. And then within 3 years, he's the Super Bowl halftime show. And like they even said then back in 2021 or 2022, whenever it was, they're like, he's the most streamed Latin artist in the world. I'm like, that's all I needed to hear. That doesn't mean he's for me. I don't listen to Latin music that often. I'm a
but he wrestled
year-old white guy. And he wrestled really
ring.
well. Oh, he did great. I'm just saying, like when people get mad about the celebrity involvement, I'm like, if it's a big enough celebrity and works for him, it makes sense to me. And WrestleMania,
it depends what they do.
Yeah.
Like if you're just coming in like Travis Scott did, no one gives a crap.
Oh yeah, no, that was terrible. No, I'm talking about like if
you're coming in and you're actually putting in some work and cleaning up afterwards and doing everything that these guys are doing, that's a different story.
Yeah, and I think that's where Travis Scott, you know, Bad Bunny ruined it for Travis Scott in the sense. I think Travis Scott thought he could come in and be like Snooki or even like Cyndi Lauper of doing small around stuff. Where like no, nowadays you have to like actually wrestle. Look at Bad Bunny, Logan Paul, and I mean even Jelly Roll for what it was. You know, his match wasn't terrible, and he's gonna be in a tag match. That's kind of pretty obvious. I actually think that might be where Carmelo Hayes ends up. We'll see. But this was a stupid little segment, but it was funny for R-Truth and Priest. Obviously, I think they'll be in another multi-man kind of thing because I think the Vision will have a just versus the Usos, and so I think the other tag team belts will be a multi-person situation to get more people on the card.
I did like the recap of them winning the title when they showed the look on Priest's face when they won the title. one of the funniest things I've ever seen. I'm like, well, that's pretty hilarious.
Yeah, that
I
is
did a nice
point.
recap of it, and I liked it. So, because I missed it. So,
yeah, no, and recaps are it's never bad to do a good recap, especially when you're building it at this time of year, building into Mania season. You know for a fact you're getting different eyes on the product that maybe haven't watched every week or didn't see certain things, and you can hook people in with video packages. I know sometimes people are like, Google it, you should know this, watch every week, but it's not realistic, especially for like people with kids and stuff.
Yeah, I missed the title switch. With the,
yeah, it happened kind of quickly. It happened very
and they showed it, and I'm like, all right, now I know what happened, so I'm good.
Bingo, you're caught up. It's nice. That's why I like the if I miss a show, there's like the recap highlights on YouTube and then like the top 10. Usually if you watch those two videos, you're pretty much caught up on a show mostly. Like and then you might miss a small thing backstage or whatever, but you're caught up on all the main storylines with it.
Yeah. To give some credit, AEW is getting better at it.
Yes. Yeah,
better.
Hopefully somebody's listening there because they need to. They need to keep up with that, especially when you're introducing somebody that people don't know. Yeah, and then you had the baddies coming out here, and this was. I mean, this was what people have been asking why BFAB stayed on the roster. It's like so she can take a beating from Rhea for Jade. Like this was going to be pretty rough.
Giving them all 3 mics was. I did not like this at all.
Yeah, I did. It's too much.
I know
there.
I'm sorry, but when we first discussed this, we discussed baddies, and everyone had their ideas, and Anthony was right. However, I remember saying, and I know at the time it was logically not going to happen, but if they knew they were going to give her baddies eventually, Lash Legend and Jada Parker, I said at the original time was the way to go. And I'm still behind that, but I understand they had plans with. I get it all, but that would have been the way to go.
No, I understand that, and I think probably the only reason they didn't with Lash is because of the size. They want Jade to be the
that's even better.
Yeah, no, and I have always kind of agreed with that. It's never been a bad. The only time it's bad is if somebody is small and somebody and their bodyguard's just like a regular sized person and they look so much bigger. I feel like if you're already like Jade. Lash isn't going to overshadow Jade. I get what you're saying.
You can play that whole wussy heel shit. You know what I I Like she's not going to do it. She'll have Jade. She'll have Lash do it. She'll have Jade.
No, I get you. Like that. No, and it was one of those things where I even said that I'm like that would work for me too. I get where that, and I honestly think you might have been right long term in the sense for building them up. But I also think what held it back was I think Jada Parker's just not quite ready for the main roster. She's getting there, but she came in similar to most of the women who've come in from the NIL programs with zero knowledge of the product and zero experience, but has picked it up. And I feel like she'll come up sooner than later, but I think she wants, that's probably one of the parts of it too. Yeah.
I just realized when I watched this that BFAB on a mic and other than Meechin looking very, very nice. They don't offer me anything, dude.
Yeah, and Meechin's got like the hardcore thing and she's crazy with it, but I don't think they got to lead more into that too, where she's like got to actually be crazy. Where they got to calm her down.
Yeah, it was the first week of them doing it, so I'm going to give it a pass for this week.
Yep. No, I was just going to say,
week. I just don't want to see them all come out with microphones, and we'll see what happens.
They've got to work on it. It's a work in progress, just like anything, and that's where I'm always at with it too. On the first couple weeks. Speaking of things that didn't work initially, but really have come around, Danhausen cursing it. And Miz is great with this, where he's like, with my family's luggage in Romania and like the gum on the shoe. Like Miz, this killed me. I had to watch this twice. I popped this really made me laugh. And I know it was stupid, but it was funny. It was stupid, but it was the perfect length. It was like 2.5 minutes and it was perfect. And they got in, they got out, and it was done. And everybody looked better. Exactly. Right. It didn't last too long. You didn't have anything stupid and silly. I don't know. This is Danhausen's really, really coming through for what he should be doing for them. Because I mean, when he comes on screen and the audience audience who has to watch, because usually even if it's something they like on screen, you're booing it because it's not happening in front of you. When you're getting cheers for that, that's pretty good. That's pretty good.
I see them going in a direction of like he gets his own 2-minute show or 3-minute show like Piper's Pit, shit like that.
Yeah,
I see it going that way. It's got to go that way for me.
I was just gonna say, yeah,
that's where I'd like to see it move to. I like to see him, 3 minutes, something like that.
Yeah. And
a nice little interview segment. If the interview doesn't go well, he curses somebody. If not, he doesn't curse anybody. Shit like that. You never know what he's going to do it for. What?
And people don't want to do it because they don't want to get cursed. They could also, doesn't Netflix have all the old pay-per-view rights? They could have him host all of the Halloween Havocs, and in between every second match, he comes in and does a little bit like he's Elvira. That'd be great.
Boris has got it. Danhausen's Dungeon.
Oh, there's the name. There's the name. Boris nailed it. Danhausen's Dungeon. Yep, that's the name. I didn't know what then. I'm bad at naming things like that. That's actually pretty good. That's pretty good. And then you got Angry Drew, which setting up here. I like this too, where Kathy Kelly talked to both Drew and Jacob, and they're both just still so mad. They've set this up for a very good grudge match, for a match that doesn't have a belt for it. You've got to have a good heat, and they've really set that up well.
The only thing that made this exceptionally good was watching him walk in.
Yes,
that's what made it for me, because the interview kind of was just what I expected. But watching him walk in, you got the feeling for everything that was happening.
That's a good point. Yeah, and how he's trying to and Drew's so great because he's trying to look like he's not hurting, but he's hurt it. Yeah, no, you're right. That did work very well. I didn't even think about that.
We've all done that walk where your knee hurts and you're pretending where it doesn't hurt.
Yes, exactly. And your side, and you're just I'm fine. Yeah, no, that's totally what that was. And Drew sold it so well. Drew's fantastic. He really can do no wrong. Whatever storyline or situation they put Drew in for the last 3-4 years, he's just been money. And then you had this other stuff where Kit Wilson came back at Jelly Roll for the mom stuff, and then they had the match with it, which you knew where this was going to go. And really, the only question of this at all is who's going to be Jelly Roll's tag partner when it's Miz and Kit versus Jelly and who. That's really the only question. And I think maybe that could be Carmelo Hayes, because it's going to be somebody who's going to get the rub from Jelly Roll. So it's not a bad thing. I mean, when they partner you with a celebrity, it's usually it's rarely a bad thing. I mean, this last partner was Randy Orton.
You can't just toss somebody in there, though. You got to have somebody that has something to do with the storyline that they're doing. I don't know who that even be.
At that point, the only one is Danhausen, and that's kind of are we really giving Danhausen a Mania match? I mean, I'm not exactly. I'm not saying I'm opposed. See, this is where not having a pre-show kind of hurts. This is where not having pre-show matches it hurts a bit, because I feel like this is where that would actually be very good. To have a private pre-show match where, in the match right before the show starts, Jelly Roll and Danhausen versus Miz and Kit Wilson. It could be fun, it could be good, but I'm on the main show. Who do you partner him with? I don't know. It's got to be somebody, because what else is Miz doing? I don't know.
I don't know what they're gonna do. I don't know.
And the only reason I'm asking at this point is because we're running out of weeks here. We're coming low on time. I mean, I feel like they've got a plan and they know what they're doing. I don't, and that's interesting, but we'll see. This is what I've also heard and seen, is that it's going to be Royce Keys. But at this point, where's he been, and where's that involvement? I don't see where that's come. I don't, unless he's been having a storyline with Kit Wilson on main event. But I feel like if that was happening, we would be getting video packages, or they would talk about it. You know what I mean?
Guess you'll find out this coming Friday, right?
Yeah, I was pretty much at this point.
Gotta move quick on this one,
right? Yeah. And then you still got this slow thing with Tama Tonga, where they're seems like they're eventually gonna turn him. I don't know if he's even gonna turn babyface. He might just turn on the MFTs and remain a heel. I don't really know, but I've been liking the stuff with Shinsuke, and I liked how Mello came in and, are you going to challenge for it? What's going on? I'm interested in what they're going to do with Tama, because he got really over initially with the thing, and then he got hurt. And it seems like since he's been back, this is what the slow build been is too. So we shall see that.
I've checked out during this whole thing.
That's fair.
Don't care.
I've checked out. I was checked out initially. I came back when the camera panned and it went to Tama. I was like, wait, what's going on here? I've been paying more attention to this, because I'm at least interested in what's going to happen and where
I'll
it's
admit,
go. It could fail. It could falter out and be nothing.
I'll admit I don't know a lot, but I know Tama Tonga doesn't seem to stay healthy very long. Doesn't seem like that's his forte. He gets hurt. I'm not going to say injury prone, because that's not fair, but
Yeah, I mean, that's a valid point. Now, granted, when some of it's war games and you're doing crazy shit, maybe it's not as prevalent. But I get you 100%.
I could be wrong. It's just my perception. Yeah.
No, for sure, I get you. But then
hey, we're at 22 likes so far for
nice.
our live show. So thank you all. Hit the like button if you haven't. Thank you.
Yeah. No, and I've seen we've had over 30 live viewers, a good portion of the show. We really appreciate that. Every like, every subscribe. I'm pretty sure we got a new subscriber while we were going here. So we're up to 524. Look at that. See, everybody, we appreciate every single subscription. We're on the climb to 1,000. George has got a party and set up for plan to give away for 500. That's that you still people can still qualify for. About? Your contest, the contest.
My 500 subscriber contest. Yeah. That goes on for this today's show, Thursday's show, and then next Sunday's show will be a last show you can check in. Yeah. So again, if you super chat, you're in. You get up to 5 entries, no problem, all good. If you can't do a super chat, when the video posts later, you just type in contest. I will like it. And you will be entered, and you have 5 times to do that too, if you wish.
Yeah. And once we get to 1,000, we'll do another contest of some sort. We're for sure. With your money. At that point, hopefully, no, you're good. Hopefully by then I'll have been working for a longer period of time. Yeah, 2025 was rough on Jake, but 2026 has been positive. We're gonna keep moving forward.
Positive, good. Yes, positive.
Yes, Sheik always positive. And then the big section of the show, I guess the big talking point was this one with what happened with Carmelo Hayes and Sami Zayn, where, I mean, the moment they kind of booked it, it was kind of telegraphed that Trick was going to get involved and cost Carmelo the match. And, I mean, it was one of those situations where they had a good match building up to it, but you kind of knew it was going to happen. And the moment Trick hit Carmelo, you knew it was going to be a big win for Sami, and that wasn't a surprise in the end of it because, I mean, let's be real, Sami was going to have a Mania match. They weren't going to not have Sami in a Mania match. And then Trick, when Aldis said, Trick, you have a Mania match, but didn't say who it was against, telegraphed it for me with what was going to happen. But when I went online during it, because I was watching SmackDown Live for once, people were freaking out, and I was so surprised with how many people were like, surprised or upset by. I don't know. It didn't surprise me in the least, and I feel bad for Carmelo, but I mean, that's kind of the break sometimes with that. I still think he gets on the Mania card.
They have a story to tell here. They do have a story to tell. These two seem to work well together verbally so far, which is good. Yeah. We'll see how they do in the ring.
Yeah, and I feel like Sami, I mean, I feel like he can work with just about anybody in that sense. I'm not saying he's one of my favorite guys to watch, but he's a good hand and a good wrestler, and I think it'll be a great win for Trick. And then you had the moment here where it's kind of similar with Jacob, where he's holding his side and he's like, I'm fine, but he's like leaning back like, oh God. And then he says, I'm going to go out to the ring. But before he goes out to the ring, you had this moment too, where Sami comes back with all this of I told you so, and kind of was rubbing it in his face and turning heel a little bit, which, as we talked about earlier, is definitely going to be that Mania match where the double turn. They might even be double turned by then. They might already be turned before that match at this point. And then you had Jacob come out and again, holding his side, and he's hurting. And then Drew comes out where they're both just beat the crap out of each other. And it's funny. I kind of expected what we heard it might be from certain people online saying it was going to be a Hell in the Cell match. And I kind of thought it was going to be that. That made a lot of sense to me. But they did it as an unsanctioned match, which is different because you don't see that a lot in WWE. So I'm interested to see how that works and how that goes. But this is what their Mania match will be. So it was interesting. I'm curious where this goes and how it plays out, because when was the last time you saw an unsanctioned match on WWE television or a pay-per-view? I can't remember
one, a while.
Personally. Right? I'm sure there has been one that someone in the chat or someone in the comments would be like, it was this match, you dummies. Well, I forgot. I'm sorry. I try to remember, but I don't remember, but it's intriguing for sure. We got another super chat coming in here. Let me give that here. Oh yeah. LC Rabbit LC Killer. Good to see you, bud. SmackDown was not good, but not the worst of all time. Yeah, that's what I was thinking about. I've seen a lot of people saying it was terrible and multiple steps back. I'm like, if anything, it was, a decent show and they took steps forward. You got Trick and Sami booked in a Mania match. You pretty much set in stone like we said about the women's match. So that's, 8 more people that have a Mania match booked.
Oh, there you go.
Clearly looks like Julia and Tiffany might have a Mania match there. Like you're booking this card, I mean, I think Chelsea Green will probably be back in time, and that's a triple threat for the U.S. women's title. That kind of makes sense to me there, but all works sense to me. So we'll see.
Yeah, I didn't care for SmackDown that much. I told you that earlier.
I get you. Yeah, no, and I
don't think it was a step back. It was a minor step forward, but it was fine. I mean,
and I think also too, the
problem is we get spoiled this time of year.
Yeah,
I
was just going to say that.
That's the thing.
I was just going to say Raw was so good, and the next Raw is going to be great. Exactly. I was just going to say that. Totally. You've had Raw in Boston and Raw in MSG, and Raw needed to kind of get more things on the card, so it made sense. Yeah, I'm with you, bud. And then again, Julia and Tiffany have this match where Tiffany looks like she's going to get it, and Julia steals it, and then I still think Chelsea Green makes her way into that. It would make the most sense because Julia got it from Chelsea, and Chelsea hasn't gotten a rematch because of her foot. So I think that would make the most sense, but we'll see. I don't know. Again, getting people on cards, and I think Chelsea deserves a Mania match. So that just seems like where she fits to me. But what do I know?
She have to be cleared and everything first. Make sure.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. I'm thinking the timing would work out. I don't know how bad the sprain was, or if any ligament damage or that kind of thing. But if not, a singles match will be fine. I also think next week we get who Randy's talking to on SmackDown, and I think it's going to be himself. I think you're right. But I mean,
if you go back, they've showed the vignettes prior to this a couple times. Now I could be totally wrong, but in one of the previous segments, he actually says, "Glad I picked up." It's there. You can see. I mean, it's verbally. He says it as he picked. Glad I picked up.
Yeah,
and he starts talking.
Yeah, and every time they've shown the Jelly Roll highlight, they make sure to put in the part where he says, "I don't know if it's the voices in your head or somebody in your ear," and like the voices in your head part gets more emphasis than the somebody in your ear. I feel like they're really they're selling it.
Over, and they could make somebody pop in. I mean,
they could. The only one that would make sense is Kevin Owens, but why would they be teaming up? You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't really make sense. Like, what does Kevin Owens get out of it, except for that Cody was the one who sent Owens, to the hospital essentially and got him in with his neck surgery. But I think we would have probably heard more rumors if Kevin Owens is going to be cleared.
Yeah, you would have heard something.
Like that has right? Like he's working out somewhere, seen at the PC, something. And even so, like it would make sense, or it'd be cool, I guess, of a shock value to have it be him. But what do you get beyond that? That's Vince booking, where it's like you have a cool moment, but then beyond that, where does it go?
Even if he is working out, that injury was so devastating. I mean, I'm not sure I want to see him wrestle anymore, to be honest.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I feel very much that way about those. Kind of like with Ospreay, at least I didn't want him to come back that quickly from neck fusion. I don't want to see anybody wheelchaired. I really don't, man. But yeah, I still think it's him, and I think it's kind of, like you said, fairly obvious, or at least they're trying to make it obvious, and that's the red herring. But what else would make sense, and what else would be logical? Nothing I got. But yeah, no, then Randy going for Cardona's arm this whole match. Good for Matt Cardona and getting a SmackDown main event, right? Going into WrestleMania. I mean, that's pretty good. I know people have said, "Oh, he's just been going there to job and blah blah blah." I feel like it's like, he's gonna job for a bit and prove to them he can put in the work and do the work and see if maybe he does get a push one day to sneak a world title. I don't think he does, but
nope.
Only. Hey, it's one of those things. He's definitely not gonna get it working the indies, So screw it. Plus, it's one of those things where whatever the contract is, once it expires, go back to the indies and he'll have a bigger nest egg. So.
But he won't have to go back to that after this.
Yeah, unless he wants to. Yeah, that's a good point. But yeah, no, Randy obviously beats him, and then you knew Cody was going to show up and attack, and I liked where Cody was going for Randy's eyes. I like this edgy Cody. I mean, if it is eventually going to turn him heel, okay, But even if it doesn't, I like the edge that he has to it. And then Randy attacked Jelly Roll. And I still think it's going to be a tag match with Jelly Roll with it. But I mean, people were also upset that he was involved in this. But I mean, it makes sense. He was supposedly best friends with Randy Orton. They teamed at SummerSlam, and then Randy would still attack him. Oh my God, so. And plus he probably was like, yeah, I want to take an RKO. Yeah, I want to take an RKO. And I can't ever blame anybody for that. I would want to take an RKO too. There's certain moves I would want to take. And RKO is one of them. I believe I saw. Yes, we do. Give me a hell yeah. Regina Sharp, thank you so much. Whoops, forgot the start time. Here's 5 to apologize. Never need to apologize, but we will always gladly take every super chat we can get our hands on. We appreciate it. But hey, at least I didn't forget the start time. I'm finally figured out daylight savings, and I'm back to like, okay, I know now 8 p.m. Eastern is 5 p.m. my time, and I'm working my schedule around it. I'm not gonna be hungry this week like I was last week towards the last like half hour. I'm like, shit, I should have eaten something. I'm so hungry. I made sure to eat well before, so we are good. But yeah, that was SmackDown. I feel like, yeah, it wasn't the best episode, but it wasn't a bad one and overall, and it got the job done of what it needs to. But I also feel like this was a show, one of those shows like maybe where you've got a really good pay-per-view built up and you're focused on that, in the sense that MSG on Monday is a big show and they're putting all their eggs into that basket right now because it's a big show. It's MSG. They want to have a big social media watch from that, or some kind of moments from it. And I think that's where we get, if Braun Breaker's going to return, I feel like that's when that's going to be. I think Brock gets one over on Oba this time finally, so that we can have that moment. But we'll see. Should be a fun show. But I enjoyed SmackDown overall for what it was. But that 3 hours is too much. They need to figure out a deal with USA and get to 2.5. Like maybe that last half hour they can do like. Can we put like reruns of Unwanted Treasures on there or something?
That's a rough haul. Like I fall asleep in the middle sometimes and I pop back up.
It's that extra half hour, because I feel like with Raw it's the same thing where not the entire show is great, but like the slog parts, all of a sudden it's like all of a sudden you're going into the main event and you're like, oh all right, cool. As we're with SmackDown, it's another half hour, and then all right, we're going to the main event finally. And again, it doesn't seem like it would mean that much. We're only talking about a half hour, but just like I talk about with switching from Mountain Time to Pacific Time, that extra hour makes all the difference in a half hour.
Wrestling time's different.
Yeah, no, it does. It does. She comes back on Regina. I would take that RKO. I would take that RKO all night long. Well, we know who Regina's rooting for at Mania. We've got that booked, marked, and in. I don't know if Toonie Talk, if we're going to do anything special as a Mania watch party, or if it's going to fall to George and I to host it, but which we will happily do if that's what they want from.
Oh,
but
speaking of which,
speaking
of kind of a watch party deal.
Rumble.
So we're doing the Stand and Deliver watch party next Saturday.
Yep.
I discovered that Zeus and Dr. Gina do a weekly NXT show.
Yeah, I've extended that or not. Yeah, okay.
I've extended the invitation to both. Dr. Gina has 100% committed, and Zeus is 50-50.
Okay,
time difference.
Right, I was just gonna say with the time difference, I feel like 50-50 is better than I was expecting to hear from him. Yeah. I thought we were gonna get maybe 25%. You know, I mean,
the reason why it's
better
in our favor is because I'm kind of want them both there together. Because they have a show together and they review it together every week. So I wanted them to do that, be there together.
No, I get it. But yeah, no, which is, totally understandable. I get it. But and hopefully they can both make it. Or at least, like I said, like I tell everybody, if they're going to join our watch parties, you don't need to come for the entire thing if you can't. If you come in, pop in for a half hour, one match, half a match, whatever. So, but yeah, no, that'll be
this one will be different too, because this one's on YouTube.
Yeah, that's going to be an interesting difference. I'm not exactly sure how that's going to work with that, but we will see.
I will be watching the chat. Obviously, you got to watch the chat to see the numbers of how many people are in there. Mm-hmm. How many people are going to send super chats for no reason whatsoever?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I didn't think about that. Yeah, and I'm sure they'll take them. That's for sure. Speaking of super chats, woo! got two coming in. We got Andre Adams coming in with what's up, people. What's up, Andre? Good to see you, my friend. This is fun. The Sunday crowd is really starting to really fill out and be like you see the same people, and they keep coming back weekly. So we're doing something right, my friend. Up and Regina again. Mania. Oh, right. Wrestling. Yeah. I meant wrestling. Hey, as George and we can, I get it. Devil's Kiss, same idea. Like, oh yeah, no, wrestling. I understand where you're coming from. I respect it. And too bad it's this year. I feel like younger Randy, you might have been able to pull off what you were looking for from what we heard from him back in the day before he
now he's got
married and settled down.
17 kids and
right. Yeah, exactly. He doesn't have time with all the kids. Yeah, he's not setting off cherry bombs in Mexican hotels anymore like we used to hear about. But yeah, no, that'll be fun. I'm looking forward to that NXT watch party, and I feel like NXT's really they got hurt a bit. They got hurt a ton by losing Javon and Trick and Oba in the same swoop, but they've really come along the last 2 to 3 episodes of really putting it together, of getting their roster set up and showing you who the stars are going to be moving forward. And then there's always new talent coming in with Evolve and NIL. So I'm excited to see what they do, but Stand Deliver should be fun.
What's really hurting them is this new stupid thing that Nielsen did, changing their rating system. It benefits cable. It benefits cable. So it benefits Dynamite, Collision, and SmackDown. NXT does not benefit because it's on broadcast. And you can see it because Dynamite did 765 this week, went up from last week.
Right.
So it's going up every week, and NXT is kind of just hanging. Like, they're getting screwed.
Right. Yeah. No. And because this is the second change that Nielsen's made, right? Because the first change NXT seemed to get a benefit from, but then they changed it again or something. I don't pay enough attention with it, but it's
just changed where broadcast TV is not nearly as included as your cable stations are. Excuse me.
Right. And you're seeing SmackDown, as you said, SmackDown has been getting a bump in its ratings too, which is great for them. Even when they were on Sci-Fi, it wasn't as bad as normally when they move off of USA. But yeah, no, NXT is getting hurt by it. And I mean, I know the NXT product isn't as good as it was, last year as it is, but it's still decent. It's still fun. It's still NXT. It's still the same show. Sean's still doing great stuff and great work with the talent that he's got in front of him. It's not that it's that bad. It's just, if the benefit is to cable, and I mean, broadcast TV is such a small part of it, but you would think that you would think like the big networks like ABC, NBC, CBS, and Fox would be pushing to get that adjusted because they want their ratings to be good for when they host like the Oscars or the Emmys or any of that kind of stuff, or even sports when it's the World Series or whatever. I know a lot of sports is on cable, but not all. I know the big games are on, because CBS is going to host the college basketball national championship. What's that, Monday? Tuesday? I think it's Tuesday.
I think.
Yeah, I know it's because I feel like the Final Four. I think it should be Monday. I think they play the Final Four will be Saturday, and then both 2 games, and then the winners play Monday. I'm pretty sure, but I could be wrong. I used to follow much closer.
Next Monday.
Yeah.
Because NXT did 581, and that's not too bad. But it's still way down from what they were doing the 650 to 700 range for a long time.
I was just going to say they used to knock on the door of 7. They would be like between 650 and 690. And then like sometimes if it was a bigger episode, they would get over that 690 or even over that 700 mark, but they were consistently doing that.
And they're not on any Nexstar stations. That's tough to say.
Oh,
Nexstar doesn't have a deal with them, so they're getting screwed. Every bad thing that could possibly happen, it's happening to them. So
yeah, and I know they even got hurt by some of those because there's been a few different like special elections or certain like primaries and stuff going into the midterm
politics and weather.
Yeah, and I know that I know that through 3 of their biggest affiliates, New York, Chicago, and LA, they all have news networks on their CW, so they end up covering that. As we're like the CW here in Phoenix, there's not a news affiliate associated with them, so they're just going to run whatever TV and reruns. They don't do news. As where, I mean, the CW affiliate in Chicago is WGN, like the Superstation, like that, Entertainment America. Yeah, but it's and then NBC is PIX, and then LA, I forget what it is, but I know all of them because you'll see it sometimes when the rating would take a hit randomly for no reason, but it would be like, oh yeah, LA was covering like the fire when they were covering that, or special elections or whatever. You know, when you're losing your 1 to 2 to 3 of your biggest markets, and you're only getting, like, let's just say 600,000. I would say probably at least 50,000 comes from each of those 3 markets. So if you're losing 1 to 3 of them, you're going to really get hurt. So I could see that affecting them a lot with it too. But obviously, the problem
becomes once you miss a show, you kind of maybe forget about it next week when it's on, and shit, like, you gotta get back accustomed to your routine.
Yeah,
that's the hard part.
It's true.
If you're tuning in one night and there's weather updates, and you tune in the next week and it's a political mayor race or something, and the next week you're not going to tune in. It's the way it works.
Right. Yeah, no, for sure. And I mean, even so, if with everything else, there's so much wrestling. I mean, there's got to be a give somewhere. I mean, that's the reason we haven't talked as much TNA like we used to. I have not had the time for it. It's I had to give up something, and I never even tried to get into Evolve for the same reason. I mean, Monday and Friday with WWE locked in, gonna at least catch the highlights or watch those. Wednesdays we watch the full show so we can review it with you guys every Thursday night at 9:30 p.m. right here on the channel for AEW Dynamite review. So that's 3 nights already I'm taking up for watching wrestling. I talk wrestling on Tuesday nights on the Toonie Talk Wrestling at 8 p.m. and here every Sunday at 8:05 p.m. So there's 3 other nights. Like, you got to have a give somewhere, man. I'm not, and I feel like that's other people. I mean, other people have lives, jobs, kids. I mean, how many people nowadays have a job and a second job or a side hustle? I mean, people have, it's one of the reasons why television ratings aren't what they used to be as well. I mean, remember when, what was it, like like TV shows would get 30 million viewers or 25 million viewers or big views, and now it's like network TV, they had 8 million views. It's a great night for them.
If you make it special enough, people find the time.
This is true.
If they want to make something special, you'll pencil it in and make sure you're there.
Yeah.
Like the Olympics at 8:00 or 7:00 in the morning, my time, 8 Eastern. All those people tuned in for that. 8 a.m.
Right. I was just going to say, it's not something they're going to do weekly. You're going to do it once a year, once every couple of years. It's for something specific. Yeah. You're not getting that weekly viewership of mainstream anymore. People don't have the time for it. People got lives. It makes sense though. And that's why the Olympics, that's why NBC invests so much in the Olympics, because they know I guess for them every 2 years, because they get a summer and a winter, they're going to get all these eyes on their product for that time. And that can really finance them for the next 2 years.
And we've gotten to the point where time difference doesn't make a difference anymore. It doesn't matter. Like people tune in no matter what. Doesn't matter.
Yep. You might not get as many of like the watch parties and you're not getting people going out to the bars as much at some of those in the early in the morning, but they'll watch it from home. It doesn't matter how, that's the world that we've lived in with the streaming and connectivity, which makes a lot of sense, and good for them with it. It's impressive. I'm happy for them, but I don't watch that much live anymore. I can admit that. Sports is about the only thing when I do. But yeah, that was SmackDown and NXT. We got some that'll be fun to talk about too with it. I know we've
jacked up to 30 likes. Very impressive.
Nice. Thank you guys. We really, really appreciate that. It's really
average for the Sunday show is about 30 to 35 likes, which is amazing to me because I was just wanting to get 1 or 2.
Yeah, no, I remember the first time we got 10 and it was like double digits. All right. It's like, hey, we're actually breaking ground. And now, I feel like 20 was the average for a while, and then it was 25. And it's a nice organic slow climb that we're building here. We're not doing anything we're not doing clickbait anything or doing any like random we got in a video game audience for a few episodes and then back to this. Like, no, we're just doing the same thing, and people seem to keep enjoying and finding what we're doing, and we are having fun with it for sure. And we've got a few other topics for today, but if there's anybody who wants to super chat it or ask us any questions or have any topics they want us to talk about, Sunday is the time to do it. Let us know for sure. I know
we're saving Tony Khan for the end.
That's what I kind of figured. We've got
you're all wondering.
We do have oh God, Tony did a Saturday Live trying to pump Collision, and
well, let's give the man some credit. At least he's giving Collision the same amount of time and effort he is Dynamite.
Well, and I think it was this another one of those collisions that was taped, or not taped, but like done live in an area, because I know sometimes Collision it's taped after a Dynamite in the same city that Dynamite was in, so it's not as, I don't think those ones he puts as much effort into, but it seems like the one
whenever they have a live one, he decides to chime in, I think.
Okay, yeah, that's
he
likes
what
to
it
do
seems
that
like.
to
pump it up a little more, get you on the feel.
Well, it's also because then people know he's being truthful about his office and people barging in and looking for a fight.
Well, he also seems to know what's going on around the world in sports TV and stuff, because baseball just kicked in. So he wants to get a piece of that action probably on TBS and stuff. Baseball is big on TBS and TNT. So, it makes sense that he would go live and try to pump it up a little bit, get some of that baseball fandom off him, I guess. I don't know what his plan is.
No, I mean, he'll ride whatever. And I know, and then it's probably partially too of the college basketball wave as well, trying to ride that, because I know that TBS and TNT is part of that hosting as well. So I know, I mean, he'll stick onto whatever wave whatever coattails he can ride. I was just wondering when you said it, like, does he have a baseball team that he supports, or is it the Cubs, or is it the White Sox?
I would imagine it's the Cubs. I imagine he's a Cubs. I think he's a Cubs fan. I think he said that once before, maybe twice.
Okay,
considering where he was born and lived.
And again, with TV, it was Cubs games were always going to be on TV, and he's essentially like 4 or 5 months younger than I am, so he would have grown up.
He was in that market. He's in the market.
Yeah, and I mean, as a kid too, I can admit it. Like I was never a Cubs fan, but I always liked watching Cubs games because Harry Carey was the announcer for me growing up as a guy. I mean, that was fun. You were always going to have a good time with that. I could easily see, I would make the most sense that he'd be a Cubs fan. I just didn't know, because I mean, obviously with football, it's all Jaguars, and then soccer's Fulham. I've just never seen him, talk that much about it, because obviously, like, whatever college he went to is like, a college. It's not a college. It's going to have a basketball team, so he doesn't have a dog in the fight for the NCAA tournaments. I didn't know what. Yeah. Our boy Tony. He's. I mean, I guess we also have the other thing we put on the thumbnail for this one of, like, is this the last chance for Randy Orton to get a title win and a title run? And then same with Kenny Omega. Because I mean, I know Randy's a few years older than Kenny, but I feel like Kenny's wrestled a lot harder. And
yes,
I mean, I see with Randy, I think I think he wins at Mania and gets 15. He keeps acting like he wants to wrestle for a few more years, and so maybe there's a chance he could get and beats the 17 of Cena, but with how long Triple H,
silly. That would get
silly. Yeah, especially with how Triple H likes to have long, meaningful title reigns. It seems like he doesn't play too much hot potato with the title. That's why it was a little bit surprising for people when Cody beat Drew, because Drew had only recently beat Cody 2 months prior. But storyline wise, it made the most sense, and you kind of had to roll with it. But yeah, I don't really see, unless he, beats Cody for that one, and then somehow loses it to somebody else, and then goes for the other one. I could see maybe, but even that gets him to 16. Where do you get 2 more? I don't either.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't either, unless it's something where it's, even I was saying, unless it was like he's going to retire somebody with the Legend Killer gimmick, but that's Gunther's gimmick now. So yeah, no, I think for Randy it is. I think with Kenny, because of how Tony books things, I mean, he could be like Sting in years to come, where he barely does anything and doesn't ever lose. I could easily see Tony doing that if AEW is still a thing that he's funding at that point, which I have a sneaking suspicion it will be with this My AEW thing. I still think that's his end game, is he's going to make that since they don't have a TV deal. It's just going to be, we have our own app, come over and watch. You can watch Dynamite for free once a month on it or something. And then you got to pay that $10 a month or whatever after to.
I think Kenny and Randy are in the same exact path, same exact situation, same exact things happening. Question is, who benefits what when this is all said and done? Because after these matches are done, Kenny should be champion and Randy should be champion. Now, what they do after that, we'll see.
Yeah, no, you're right. And I mean, I would think Randy has a pretty decently long title reign, at least till SummerSlam would make sense for him. Just for nothing else, that he's earned it in that sense of being able to be this version of himself and the champion. And I don't mean heel baby. I just mean like this version of Randy as a person, what we were talking about, where he's not being a jerk to people and lighting fireworks in Mexican bathrooms and stuff like that, where he's got a good head on his shoulders and, you know, his family can be proud of him. And I feel like he's earned that. But beyond, once he loses it, then what happens to him probably goes on like a farewell tour situation would make sense. With Kenny, I mean, they've been pumping this of he's going to have one more run and he's got to get that title. And it seems like MJF will probably go film a movie come that point, which paper? Dynasty. I keep wanting to call it Revolution, but they just had Revolution. It's Dynasty or Wrestle Dynasty or whatever it's called. That would make sense to have Kenny, and then Kenny can lose it to Omega in London. That's kind of
Kenny is Omega. It's Ospreay you were thinking.
Ospreay, yeah, my bad. Thank you. Yes, Ospreay.
Had me confused there for a minute.
Nope, that's nope. I appreciate it. Nope, there was that happens sometimes when you're dyslexic. And I mean, you hear it in other podcasts too. But no, it's Ospreay is clearly going to win it in London. Like that makes the most sense. Having him beat Kenny as in a passing of the torch moment. I don't think Tony can pass that up. I kind of feel like that's where that's going to go. So,
well, it should.
Right. No, it makes them, that actually makes logistical sense. I'm totally cool with that one. I just don't know who beats Randy for his, but I'm sure they have some idea already. But yeah, I think you could be right.
Before I get to this point I was going to make, we can show Regina's here real quick and we'll.
Oh, yep. Nope. I didn't see that.
Before I continue
I was taking a drink. Yeah, no, absolutely. We will give the, woo! Thank you, Regina. What was got? Yeah. Tony will have his own app with a Kenny AI assistant and a food example for every city they do a show in. God Fight Forever was a horror show. I've only seen clips and like reviews of Fight Forever, and I can't even imagine how bad that game actually.
I love the Kenny AI assistant thing.
I mean, isn't he already kind of that? No, he's kind of he's basically a robot anyway. Thank you, Regina. We appreciate that.
Here's the thing with Kenny. I know we all kind of make fun of him with the bang bang and all that shit, but the AEW crowd loves him. Like when he comes out, the crowd goes crazy and they like everything he does. You can't deny that. So putting the title on him and letting this run for a while, it's only going to benefit. I mean, I don't care for Kenny Omega in the least bit, but when you're watching TV and he comes out and you watch everybody actually stand up and react to him.
Yeah, and even when he does what we make fun of, like they do the, good night, bang, mwah, like they love it. No, that and that's why it's a passing of the torch to have Ospreay win the title. And I would think they would actually just keep it as a babyface kind of match and not have to have, because with it being in London, Kenny would have to turn, and that doesn't make a lot of sense. It would make sense just to have it kind of go that way in it. And that's what that crowd would want, I think, because they can.
They're not doing any turns. No way.
Yeah. Because then they can just have a move fest match where no one's trying to break anybody's neck or anything like that, and they can shake hands and have the fighting spirit at the end. And
that's what's going to happen. Kenny will put the belt around Ospreay, and they shake hands, and we all cry and go on their way.
And it'll be lucky if it's in front of 40,000 people. Like I would think it's going to be 30,000,
which is a fine crowd, which is a great crowd. There's no reason to friggin' like people do. It was only 40,000 is a great crowd, Tony.
It is just. Do you need to be in Wembley Stadium for their soccer?
They do. So let them go. If they get 40, good for them.
I hope they do. They've had diminishing returns, but they're not going back after. He was smart enough to take some time away, because that was what hurt him when they went from 75,000 to 40,000. Yeah, because you went back annual. You can't do that. Yeah, you can't go back the same year. You got to do it every 2 to 3 years and make it special and make it worth it. Where you're going to have matches like Ospreay and Omega, and where you're going to have I don't know what other types of matches, and something that builds up where you know it's coming, where you've got people have time to buy tickets and where people have time to travel from Germany and France and Amsterdam and Spain to England.
It's called planning.
Yeah. It sounds so simple when you say it, but they never do it. They're booking it. The show's July 12th and they're booking matches July 8th. Like, motherfucker.
Yeah, I think Kenny holds it up until, like you said, All In. You know, then he'll win it.
Yeah, no, that makes the most
Dynasty
sense.
And then hang on to it until All In.
Yeah, that makes the most sense. Unless they're gonna have, unless for some reason MJF
no,
isn't leaving.
No. Just let it run.
I could see. Well, I could see it like MJF wins and they have a rematch at the next pay-per-view, and that's where Kenny wins it, because they're going to have a pay-per-view every 4 weeks now, because they do this where they don't have a pay-per-view from end of December till March, and then we have one in November, and then Double or Nothing in May, and then there's usually one in June, and then All In, and then All Out, and then everything. It's just, he crams like 10 pay-per-views in like 9.5 months. It's ridiculous, but that's our Tony. It's what he does. No, it's when Regina talking about Fight Forever too. I remember hearing the ideas behind it, and it's where all they were talking about is like, oh, they had No Mercy and like, was it Pro Wrestling Evolution 2 or whatever that game was, the Japanese one, where basically he just named like the 3 or 4 best wrestling games around, and like we're gonna have elements of all of those into one game, and it's like it was impossible of an idea when he said it, and then I've only seen kind of the product pushed out.
It was awesome. It was awesome to see Aubrey wrestling somebody else with Aubrey as the referee, and then Aubrey disappearing half of her body into the ring.
Yeah, and there was only a torso reffing the match. Yeah. Oh, we got another one.
The wrestler Aubrey went through the ring.
I didn't know which one it was.
They were both there at the same time. So
I didn't know which one of it was. Yeah, when I saw a couple of, like, some people would like all of a sudden go from in the ring to out in, because they were trying to go against the ropes and it glitched. Oh, we got another $5 from Regina Sharp. Thank you so much. Hearing all the reasons for Kenny to drop the belt to Ospreay if he wins the belt from MJF tells me that Kenny is going on a long reign. I mean, it'll be April to, when is it? August? I mean, Ospreay has to win in Wembley this time. Like, you have to. Oh God,
barring injury, yeah,
especially since he's been injured and stuff. Like, you've got a window. If he's healthy, you have to do that there.
Yeah, it's like they're doing with Randy. He's healthy, take it. Same thing,
right? Yeah, it's with it being in England and having that moment of England, you've got to do it. There's no other way to go about it. But as we say that, how many times have we said that with Tony before? We're like, you've got to do it this time. You've got to do this. You've got to do that. And he does the opposite. I don't think
he's been listening to us more lately.
Yeah. I think somebody, maybe he doesn't listen directly, but somebody gives him a report back. Somebody in there with it, which, hey, as long as they're subscribed, I appreciate it. We are up to 525 subscribers now, or is it 26? 525. Thank you guys. We appreciate every subscriber and every like, every share, every hype of the videos, all that good stuff. It's every little bit.
We'll talk more about the hype thing before we leave.
Absolutely. No, I was just saying every little thing, you'd be surprised how much it helps, where
the heart, click the heart in the chat. That helps.
Yeah.
All that stuff.
Yep. No, I can kind of see it in the statistics where when you hit, a certain number of likes, all of a sudden there goes like 50 to 100 more views or whatever. And well, we still haven't figured it all out, but we're having fun with it. So we want to just have more fun and bring more people in. So we appreciate all of the likes, shares, subscribes, all that good stuff with it. Mike's got it. He knows. Thank you, Mike. We appreciate you as someone, a pre-day one supporter. Appreciate you, Mike Glass. I think you're right, though, in the sense that it's probably the last chance saloon for both of them at a real world title shot. I could see Kenny somehow, like, maybe in a retirement match in AEW, like winning it and then vacating it, pulling a Vern Gagne or something like that. But Randy, I don't think they will do that with WWE, and I feel like this is his last one. And 15's a good number. That's more than Triple H, less than Ric Flair and John Cena. That's kind of where Randy is in the pantheon of professional wrestling. I can work with that. I can live with that, but we'll see.
It all works.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Plus two, I mean, he's also in that situation where, yeah, he probably could wrestle longer and beat the Cena title, but he wants to, like you said, he's got 17 kids, which is going to breed a bunch of grandkids, like, similar to AJ Styles. You want to be able to play with them at some point in there, before you're without having to, have complete back reconstruction surgery or be able to walk. So
hey, before we go on to another topic, I just saw something trending on Twitter. It really caught my attention.
Uh-oh. Oh boy. Oh no.
Oh boy.
Oh God.
Here we go.
Oh boy.
Where'd it go? I gotta get it back. Sorry.
You're good.
Yeah, there it is. Sean Ross Sapp challenges JD from NY to live debate on wrestling bias claims. Trending.
Where would that debate take place? Like,
I'm not going to read up on it. There's no
All
way
right.
I'm reading up on
Fair.
this.
No, that's fair. That's fair. No, I just didn't know if there was going to be like a live, if he was some kind of specific, neutral location, or is it going to be on both their channels? Is it going to be hosted by? Is it going to be hosted by Chris Van Vliet?
Here we go. JD from NY accused Sapp of protecting AEW by selectively spoiling WWE results while staying quiet on AEW storylines, a charge that's lingered in pro WWE circles for years. Sapp pushed back hard, denying any ties to Tony Khan and offering his show for a full airing of evidence, noting their past clashes over reporting credibility in 24 and 25. Fans largely back Sapp's call for the transparency, with many dismissing JD's claims and so forth and so on.
With many, and see that, and that's one of those things where that's an article compiled by AI. Clearly, you can tell with it, and where it's saying many pro WWE, because the sickos are much more, they're online more and much more chronically online, so they're going to have more posts. So it's looking, all AI is doing is seeing there's more posts that are pro AEW and pro Sapp within it. But let's be real. Think of how many finishes Sapp has ruined this year. The only one I can think of, because I don't pay much attention to Sapp, is that Sami was going to beat Carmella, which, because Sapp's had me blocked for 3 years, I didn't see that. It didn't come across my timeline, so I didn't know he'd spoiled it. But when I was on Twitter afterwards on Friday night and yesterday, it was all I was seeing, because, as far as I can see from everybody else saying it, he hasn't spoiled any AEW title changes or title switches, or comebacks or anything like that. Like
JD called it out.
Yeah.
I've never seen, I don't think I've ever seen a guy change his way in thinking that we've seen from JD. Like when I first listened to JD, I'm like, I can't listen to this AEW blowhard. I can't do it. And then all of a sudden it just changed. And now I'm like, what? Oh,
yeah, well, and
interesting switch.
Yeah, and that's one of those things where, and maybe he did like wake up one day and realize like, shit, I've been wrong, I'm going to change. Or maybe one day he realized that there was maybe more money in being anti-AEW for him within it. I don't know how it works. I don't know if he's only doing it as a character for a gimmick.
A lot of money is blown AEW.
Yeah, and that's where I think, it's one of those things where I think he kind of came to that realization that, and if you were, because everybody, depending on how long it was, everybody gave AEW a chance and tried to look past the red flags initially, because in 2019, WWE was the worst it had been in most of our lifetimes. It was just awful. Like even if you go back to the early to mid 90s, it wasn't as bad as it felt like then, because it was just, at least with the job gimmicks, it felt like there was still effort. They were trying. They were failing, but they were putting out the effort with it. By 2019, with like the Roman Reigns dog food stuff, and they just didn't give a shit, because it was crazy old man Vince. And so we wanted it to be good. Everybody has the point where they gave up within that. I always say, for me, it was when Regal left. Like when Regal got there, I thought this was the chance. This is finally somebody who's going to get in Tony's ear, but not need to take the credit for it and not need to be known as the guy behind it. And, Tony will run everything by him. It'll be great. And then, that's
you can say what you want. Oh, I've looked at the numbers. Like I pop in when JD goes live on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, his YouTube audience is usually about 3,000 to 4,000. And then his X, because he runs it simulcast.
Yeah.
That's about another 2,000 to 5,000 people. So he's got an audience like no one's ever seen on wrestling wise, and Sap don't get anywhere near that. I don't think he even has a show. I don't friggin' know.
I know. Well, I know he does some sort of show. I don't know if it's behind the paywall
There
or
ain't
not.
no way anybody. I mean, we can only hope to get a quarter of what JD does. It's amazing.
Yeah, no, and that's one of the reasons to think about JD is I always said he's like I say with a lot of things, he's not specifically for me with his style, but I don't have any issue with him. You know, I did before when he was an AEW honk because it felt like he was just automatically defending him no matter what. And like I've always said with anything about this, just lying or just sticking to a company because you want to like them better is stupid. Like, yeah, right now WWE is the better product, but not everything on the shows are good. And I'm not people like oh it's your precious fed. I don't precious anything. I just watch wrestling. I watch it just as much AEW as I watch WWE. I actually probably watch more diligently of AEW so I can report back of exactly what happens with the storylines and with the vignettes and the interviews. Where with WWE, I'm like, what'd they say? I missed it. It's fine. I'll be all right. But I don't think I don't think he switched to make more money or to grift with it. And I just think he realized
he knocks
this is
WWE
what I believe,
and then he's going to WWE just as much. He doesn't say anything. He's not like pro WWE where this is the greatest show ever. He'll cut it to pieces too. Like lately, he hasn't been good. He says it's not good.
Right, and
that's the way he is. I mean,
those just don't go as viral because the AEW fans
he's not just.
Well, yeah, just because when he bashes on AEW, it'll go viral because the AEW fans will lash out back to him. When he bashes WWE, it's not going to go as viral because there's not as many WWE fans that are going to fight back. What happens with WWE fans is you get people that are stands for a specific wrestler. Like if he started picking on like Liv Morgan, the Liv stands would attack him. Or if he was going off on, I don't know, Charlotte or whoever he was going off on, like the fans of that wrestler would go after him. But it's not like there's WWE sickos or fans that are going to come after him as much as any bashing of AEW at all. You're going to get all the AEW fans after you and their 16 accounts because I'm fairly positive most of them have at least 3 accounts because I'll see responses back where I'm like, this is written the same way as this other one. But I don't have time to pay that close of attention because I usually, by the time I'm looking into it, I've been blocked. I also figured out that getting on Toonie Talk got me pre-blocked by certain things too. All of a sudden, there's definitely people that are paying attention to Toonie Talk or watching it, and they found me through there and just blocked me. I'm like, really? I'm trying to be the positive one, but all right, that's fine.
I think I'd rather see JD and Snap just fight.
That's
actual get him in the MMA ring and have him at it. I'd like to see that. That'd be awesome.
That I would actually.
Sap always threatens people. Sap always threatens people. He threatened what's his name from Soup the one time. He threatened him. I forgot his name.
There's a few different guys, but I'm not surprised. I was trying to think, did he threaten you when he came after you?
He came in. He didn't threaten me, but he stalked me.
Yeah, on Thanksgiving, right? It was Thanksgiving. Yeah, that was No, when he came after me,
Mish.
Yeah,
that's who he stalked.
Oh yeah,
he threatened Mish to a fight and told him to come over and meet him and stuff like that.
That's just Bush League. Like it's first off, it's the internet wrestling world. Second off, it's the wrestling world. Like, and I mean,
third off, it's Sap, and who's Sap gonna beat up?
JD maybe, and that's only because he might have the reach. Well, I've never seen JD in a fight, so I would have to. I'm not sure if I'd put a bet on it, but I would definitely want to watch.
I give him the Italian. I give him the Italian rub.
That's the Italian anger is something something to be said for that. Like my grandmother was like 5 foot nothing, and by the time she was like before she died, she's about as wide as she was tall. But I wouldn't have fucked with her. She could throw that wooden spoon like around a corner like it was a boomerang, man. No, I would give JD that part of it too. I just I could see Sap getting lucky because he's got the reach, but I would watch it. I would watch that more than I would watch them debate, especially on Sap's channel. I would not want to give Fightful any type of rub or any type of eyes or views.
I like to know, if they're going to debate, that's going to be a problem.
Yeah.
I'm sure they would put them on both at the same time. Both
They would
shows,
almost
both
have to,
channels.
but you'd almost have to be like you would have to find somewhere that'd be like a neutral ground where almost like a political debate.
Hey, if you got JD and SRS, if you're listening, we'll host
there it is. There it is. Yeah. And honestly, I would let George be the host of it in this sense, and I would be the silent, because George is the nice guy. You are the calm, collected one. I think you'd be a great debate moderator, honestly. No, because you would be able to. You would listen to both sides. You'd give them like that. Yeah, no, you'd be down the middle better than I would be. Mostly just because I'd be looking to crack jokes, because that's always what I'm looking to do, because I'm an ass.
Debate format.
What I do.
Debates you really can't.
Yeah.
Crack.
No. Not if you're going to be the moderator. You got to be the straight person, the straight man, and just give it like it is. But. And like cut them off on time, and you'd have to have where the moderator would have to have control over muting them, because neither of them, I think, both of them, I think, would go over their allotted time. So you'd have to give them you'd have to give them the few. No, the floor to Mr. JD, the floor to Mr. Sapp. No, I would be interested in that. No, I would happily host that. I could do the tech side of it, and I'll man the chat and do all that kind of stuff and send in the questions. I'll stay totally silent. But yeah, we'll do it on the channel for you guys.
I have a mute button. We can do it right here. You can do it.
Yeah, exactly. We'll make it work.
That's easy to do.
Yeah, no, we will make
invitations out there.
Yeah, by all means, we will moderate the Sab JD debate. We will be the neutral ground. What's that? Hey, Regina, the fight will have to be in the Thunderdome. 2 marks enter, 1 marks leaves. Can't we just get beyond Thunderdome? But
no.
No, we can't. No, Tina Turner proved that. No, as long as we don't have to go back to like as long as we don't have to go back to the WWE Thunderdome. That's the only. As long as we don't have to go back to that with everybody's screens. And
did you like it better when it started without the screens, or did you like it better with the screens?
No, I liked it better with the screens because it was in an actual arena. I mean, It wasn't that it was the screens made it better. I liked that it was an actual arena. And, but no, I mean, also, I guess once I got into the Thunderdome was when the Bloodline stuff started taking off with Roman and Heyman. So at least it got interesting. It was worth watching by that point.
Plus, it was fun to watch the people change in the background.
Yeah. And then also too, where you'd see on Twitter where somebody put up like, a picture of Jericho or something and got taken down, and you'd find
going on back there.
Yeah. That one was funny. I wish there would have been a way for like the people that were on video where they could like press a button to get louder or something, so that it could like the crowd could get louder based on the people watching. But I don't think it would have worked because people would have been idiots. People
when I first saw that, I tried to sign up for it. I was on the standby list for one of the shows, but I just couldn't sit there and wait. Like, me, I'm very impatient.
Yeah.
And they tell you in the email, they're like, okay, we're going to use you maybe in the next 30 to 60 minutes. I'm like, holy shit.
And I'm sure it was a big waiting list too.
Yeah, it was long, but they did tell you would get on eventually one of the screens, but you could be in the top right-hand corner and you never know.
Right. Or like way over to the left. Yeah. On the side where no one can see it. Yeah. No, but I mean, it was a good idea. They made it work it was one of those problem solving, work with your solution.
Yeah, it worked. Yeah.
Solutions oriented, but it was a rough shot. But I mean, hey, at least they made it work as best they could. But I mean, I guess we should probably get into the main event.
So before we get there, who was the better of the two pandemic shows, WWE or AEW?
Overall, I think WWE, because the storylines still were able to go and move better.
I'm talking actual wrestling show, like the actual product. I didn't mind what AEW was doing.
Yeah, I was still enjoying a lot of what AEW was doing at those points. I mean, and they had the wrestlers in the crowd that was working for a bit. Daly's Place worked for them. Yes. I mean, it's one of those things where like neither were great, but that were probably better with. I mean, yeah, I would say wrestling product wise, it was definitely AEW. But once the Bloodline really picked up and they moved forward with that, you were at least more intrigued by a lot of that stuff.
Yeah, but you needed people for the Bloodline. You needed fans for the Bloodline. AEW, you really didn't need the fans for for what they were doing. When WWE was doing the Bloodline, you needed the people behind that to get the reactions that they were looking for.
Eventually, yeah, but I still think of
where they worked it. Yes, perfect.
Yeah. I was gonna say initially though, with like when it was Roman and Jay, and like Roman was yelling during those matches, and the fans weren't there, that was working because it was something different. Where like Roman was like getting in, doing storyline in the match. That wasn't just like the match telling the story. He was able to vocalize stuff that wasn't something that you're gonna get with a live audience with it. So they made it work, but they worked it to the point where it was pretty much done at that point, and they needed to get people back in there to continue it, move it forward beyond that. But that part of it, I just remember that like Hell in a Cell match with Jimmy, and when Jimmy came out and that kind of stuff with him yelling in the, because I remember just never seeing anything like that before, because usually the fans are too loud. So, but they made it work as best they could. I at least, I always think that's what got me back into wrestling, because I was interested in how it was going to work. I just didn't know.
Yeah, plus, we were all bored shitless.
Exactly. I needed something to do. My wife and I couldn't go to concerts. That's all we used to do. We'd go to like one every 10 days or so. We were going to a show, and then they stopped. And then when they came back, they were triple the price. So I've stayed watching wrestling. But yeah, no, I think that's probably the best way to go about it with them. Was WWE had better storyline, but AEW was a better wrestling product. But that's kind of how it works for what they're going for. But yeah, I guess we might as well get into our main event of the evening here. We got to get with this. I didn't realize it was that bad of a camera angle. Like why did it have to go up to the ceiling? Why do we need that much?
Can't they frame this right? He's in a big room.
I'm a big man in a big room. I still think he's outside the bathroom.
Is he in front of an elevator?
I don't think it's an elevator. I just think it's it's not a slide.
No, it's the entrance to his penthouse.
I was thinking it was a bathroom. It looked like the bathroom door.
No. That's a button you push to come into your house in one of those fancy dancy condos.
Like the intercoms?
Yeah. He presses the button, you go right into his living room. Like when in Major League, when he friggin' pressed a button and came right into the party. Like, holy shit!
Yeah. All right. Oh God. All right. This is 7.5 minutes. So here we go, Tony. 5 or less, Tony. If you are listening or someone is, 5 minutes or less. That's what he needs to do. Keep these to 5 minutes or less.
It is great to see you.
Better opening.
I hope you're all having a wonderful Saturday night. I'm so excited because we are minutes away from Saturday night AEW Collision. It's always a crazy environment. There's always a lot of exciting things happening in AEW. And certainly there's a lot of people looking for a fight tonight. We have some big matches.
He knew the last one. He didn't say looking for a fight
so last time.
No, or I think he might have said it once at the very end, like he forgot it. Like, yeah, he remembered. Also, this glare in his glasses is terrible. You can't even see that he's not blinking because we can't see his eyes.
Multiple championship fights, big titles and big stakes tonight with the Women's World Championship, the Women's World Tag Team Championship, with the Babes of Wrath, the former champions, taking on the Divine Dominion. It was at AEW Revolution, the Divine Dominion won the championships under somewhat questionable after Willow Nightingale.
There's nothing in that cup this time.
And had a great match one-on-one with Lena Cross. She was attacked afterwards, attacked viciously. And she went out like a fighting champion, defended the tag team championship. And tonight, I think it's going to.
Also, if all the fans watch the shows and watch the people, why did you have to give us that much detail about Willow in this match here? Like, nobody watching this is like, oh, I didn't know that. I'm going to tune in the Collision now. Like, you don't need to give exposition and context of all your matches here. Not that much, at least.
Yeah, I think Regina's got it figured out.
Here we go. Hang on.
Give me a hell yeah.
I've got it. Regina Sharp for $5. I've got it. Tony usually doesn't wear his suit pants, so he makes them film him from the waist up. Right now, he's in Bermuda shorts and flip flops. I guess that's better than my immediate thought of like Porky Pig with just no pants.
Yeah, it makes sense. That's how I took my senior picture. It's exactly how I took my senior picture. I had shorts and sandals on, and then top was my sport, my dad's coat, and my tie.
No, I get it. I worked from home. I worked from home from honestly, for a bit over before 2020, but like from 2018 to 2025, I basically worked from home. And yeah, I would do all the video calls. I would raise my desk to standing and do it from the waist up. And yeah, sometimes you got to wear the suit and tie from there. But yeah, I was usually in basketball shorts or whatever. Yeah, no, that's what I thought, Mike. He's commando.
I'm glad Regina brought that up because I never. It seems like an obvious thing. I just never thought of it. Perfect.
Yeah, no, I did. I wouldn't be surprised with how much he has to travel, and if he just wants to be comfortable with it. Yeah, I could easily see it. And I mean, you could zoom in and prevent that with it, but I mean, this much screen, like this much open space in front of him, just looks terrible. But
if he goes live before Dynamite next week, and we get a full shot of him, they listen to the show.
No, valid. I got nothing valid.
It'll be a great match this time. I'm excited to see.
He's going to show us his shoes next time.
Fair fight, the former champions against the current champions, Megan Bayne and Lena Cross. I'm also very excited about the international championship match with the Rainmaker, Kazuchika Okada, taking on the Jet, Kevin Knight. This is going to be.
Do you think he's been watching watching the college basketball games and how they switch hands with the dribble? So that's what he wants to do. He's like, we're going back and forth.
By the way, he did go to the college, University of Illinois, I believe, right?
But I think like the Champlain campus, though. I think that's what that is. I don't think he's like,
It's like the what? No, just
yeah.
I don't feel like wasting.
Well, and here's the thing, and sometimes the satellite schools are affiliated with it, but sometimes it's different. Like I used to work recruit on college campuses, and like sometimes the schools would be like affiliates, but I remember like I would recruit on UT Dallas, which is the University of Texas, which is, the University of Texas, the Longhorns. But because it was so far, it was the Dallas campus, they had their own mascot and their own thing because they wanted to be involved in sports there with it. So I don't know if his school was the school for nerds, so I'm assuming it probably wasn't, but
so far we switched the cup 3 times from him. So let's see what
we can't see if he's I've seen him blink once so far. I can't see the eyes as well. But I would probably say it's probably about the same number.
An awesome match.
Kevin
Knight is 1/3 of the AEW World Champions, and he took that championship at the expense of Kazuchika Okada. Kazuchika Okada was a double champion. He was making huge money here in AEW. He was a double champion. He's still making a lot of money, but not.
Are you really going to tell us that because he's not a champion, he's making less money, Tony? Are we really trying to kayfabe that?
Worth the shot.
Getting
credit, going to the pay window.
As much as he was at the expense of losing that World Trios Championship. And Kevin Knight also is one of the very few people ever here in AEW to score a win over Kazuchika Okada back in the Continental Classic in December. And
that no one remembers.
Knight, he's just on fire. And Kazuchika Okada,
the cup makes the hot
greats. This is going to be an awesome match for the AEW International Championship tonight. Kazuchika Okada versus the Jet, Kevin Knight. And also, we had a great national championship blackjack.
Hey, at least Kevin Knight doesn't have to team up with his idiot partner tonight. He can just be on his own. That's better for him there, at least. But at least also it's on Collision, so no one's going to see it. So next time we see him, he'll be associated with the idiot boy.
Battle Royal. We saw the Bang Bang Gang's Ace Austin clash in that match.
Did we?
With the Psycho Killer, Tommaso Ciampa. Very excited for that match tonight. Ciampa has been tremendous in AEW. Ace Austin has
Remember when Ciampa debuted and it was like important?
Star. I think that's going to be
everything happened so quick, didn't matter.
And we've also had
that was what the beginning of February, and it's the end of March, and he's complete afterthought. He's wrestling Leo Rush.
He's a world champion, world champion, and now relegated to Collision.
Yeah, the TNT champion, but still. Yeah, no, it's just he came in, debuted so hot, and then what?
Had some interesting requests here tonight.
Oh, here we go.
People looking for big fights tonight. Saturday Night Collision. People always want.
Who calls it Saturday Night Collision?
We have so many stars in AEW that want that great TV time and those big opportunities. And we've had some new stars this year. We've signed a lot of great new stars, and 3 wrestlers I'm very excited about here in AEW are the Rascals. We've had the Rascals come into AEW.
Speaking of debuts you completely forgot about.
We've seen, of course, Wentz and Xavier very successful as a tag team.
Have we?
On ROH
When?
a couple days ago.
Oh,
we saw a singles debut with Myron Reed, who looks excellent. I think Myron Reed looked tremendous in the singles match against Mansoor. That was a really fun match on ROH. And Wentz and Xavier have been tremendous as a tag team. These guys can do it all, singles, tag teams, trios. And they're looking for a fight. You know,
Myron
looking for a fight. Follow up on his big
there's a cup switch
from ROH this week. He wants to make a singles
debut
in the
cup, but we're switching
AEW. And he had a great debut against Mansoor. Mansoor's partner, the most experienced member of the trio, Johnny TV.
Hang on for a second.
Somebody that was.
He's mentioned the same thing in this little blurb at least 4 times, right? The Rascals, they work well as a tag team, looking for a fight. ROH, he's mentioned the same basic premise 4 times.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
And at least 3 or 4 times he's made like the noise where, like, if you could just take a drink, if there was something in the cup, just take a drink, maybe you wouldn't have such terrible cotton mouth, Tony. Like, just there's nothing in this cup though. There's nothing in there. With that many hand switches, there should at least been a dropout, or we would have like seen a slosh.
Would really like to get his hands on Myron after Myron made his debut here at the expense of Mansoor. So I think that'd be a great match, and I want to see Myron on TV. So
I was just gonna say that he forgot who he was talking about.
Totally forgot who he was talking about.
And I can't hold him too. I can't, shame him too much for that, because it happens to me every now and then on these shows where I'm like making a point and I'll kind of forget. Usually, like, though, I get back to it and I make it without me going, who was I? What? That was terrible, Tony. But also, why are you talking about we've seen Mansoor once on Dynamite in the 26 or 27 weeks we've been reviewing it. And we know why, because he's on Ring of Honor. The poor Rascals debuted in January, and they're already on Ring of Honor.
Myron's going to step into the ring with Johnny TV tonight.
He's still there?
Johnny TV, this would be the first time we've seen it.
And he cut his hair. I saw a picture of it. Yeah, he cut his hair. Yeah.
Big fan of John Morrison. I really am.
He always seemed like, well, he was a good wrestler. He was always seemed like a guy who would do whatever. He was able to get over with Miz with that silly, dirt sheet stuff they did. But yeah, I feel like he's just collecting a nice paycheck. And he gets to work with his wife, though. I mean, he and his wife work together in Ring of Honor, as far as I know, from the highlights I see randomly on X.
Is she still there?
Yes.
Oh, good.
Yeah. She's
I thought she went somewhere else, but I'm mistaken.
No, I think she does stuff in CMLL too, and I think she's also allowed to do. I mean, obviously they're allowed to do indie stuff too, but no, the last thing I saw was maybe a month ago or less was highlights of it was Mansoor, Johnny TV, and her doing something in Ring of
what's
Honor.
her name? Because I always forget.
Tyra Valkyria. Or Tyra Valkyrie, not Valkyria. That's
Lyra's sister.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, Lyra's less famous sister, because at least Lyra's on actual TV. Yeah, no, Taya Valkyrie.
Since
I almost got a Frankie Monet, her NXT name, for 3 weeks.
In Mexico. So that's a different look for Johnny
Lost
TV.
Opportunity.
Speaking of the Rascals, Wentz and Xavier, they want to fight too. They're one of the top tag teams in AEW, and they're looking for
a fight at least 5 times.
And knowing that Wentz and Xavier have picked up some huge wins over some top stars, including the World Tag Team Champions, knowing that Wentz and Xavier have been maybe a fraction of an inch away from becoming the World Tag Team Champions.
The Ring of Honor World Tag Team.
Yeah, but who?
Top challengers. And there's a couple of top stars here that are also looking for a fight tonight. So Wentz and Xavier.
He's just mentioned the fucking name once.
He's only mentioned
Wentz and whatever his name are looking for a fight against 2 people. We have no idea who they are because he's not telling us.
But he said Wentz and Xavier 3 times. But who they're going to fight, 0. But they're the tag champions. Also, can we really call it World Tag Team Champions?
Whatever they want to do
Ring
is
of
fine.
Honor.
Whoever cares. Don't care.
But we should just call it the Ring of Honor title, though. Because, I mean, even if Ring of Honor and NXT are going to be on the same level, I mean, if they're like NXT doesn't call it the world, it's the NXT title, the NXT tag titles. They're not world titles. Ring of Honor is not world anything. No one's watching.
Ring with Mark Davis and the TNT champion, the protostar Kyle Fletcher. It'll be the Don Callis family.
What does that got to do with the other tag champions?
And with the TNT champion in the match.
Oh, speaking of which, have you seen the highlight of Fletcher from that match? Yeah.
Why are they taking the one or two guys that I like the most? Mark Davis, and I like Fletcher, but I know he's young and careless at times. Yes, I get that.
Right.
Potentially wise, he's got potential. Mark Davis, while I made fun of him at first, he's the most in-ring wise, most believable real heel they have there. And I gotta see shit like this.
Yeah, and then yeah, Kyle Fletcher's probably going to be injured now after that on a collision that nobody watched.
Yeah, he was limping around really bad.
Oh, jeez, of course he was.
And you could see he was doing the old limping without trying to, like we just talked about earlier.
Yeah, exactly. That's true. Yeah, I'm fine.
But that wasn't
right.
faking it. I could tell the difference because I watched him like, wow.
Right. Okay. No, Drew was acting. Fletcher was, oh fuck. Oh shit. I think I really hurt myself.
All the great wrestlers in the Don Callis family, and knowing the quality of these young wrestlers.
Yeah, that's the other thing. You got how many Callis family members, and you got to have Fletcher wrestling on your freaking Saturday show that nobody watches, dude. God damn it.
Now you just ruined that whole program.
That's just terrible.
No, you ruined they just introduced Proto-Kata, remember?
Yeah.
Not Proto-Kata, but Proto-Takeshita, whatever the fuck they called it.
They were
They just introduced that. They were just going to do that. Now it's going to be
put it on hold. Fucking oh boy. Did Danhausen curse Takeshita before he left? I feel like that guy cannot catch a break, dude. Yeah, he's lost to Okada. He lost to Moxley, not once but twice. Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, it's a valid point Dunn just made. It's a valid point. Fletcher hurt just means more time for Mark Davis, and that's true.
You know, that's true, because I don't think you can hurt Mark Davis with his body side.
No. And he has definitely got the most believable pile driver I've ever seen.
Yeah,
that's saying a bit much, maybe, but
yeah, but at least in the current era for sure. And yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I'm like, Lance Archer's there too. Put them in matches.
Yeah,
you don't have to have Kyle and Fletcher in every match. He's gonna get hurt, and he did.
Tag team match with Kyle Fletcher and Mark Davis versus Winston Xavier.
Look at that smug smile.
Speaking of the top tag teams, the Brawling Birds. What a tag team! They're here.
Oh, what a tag team!
Are looking for a fight. The Brawling Birds.
There we go. He's got his catchphrase back. I'm
anytime
really happy.
They're in action, that's always something very exciting to watch. That's minutes away on Saturday night.
Oh, minutes away. Hey,
and
hang on. He does that thing where he puts his arms out and goes, minutes away. Like, duh.
You know what it is.
Yeah. That was funny. That was fun.
Yeah, that's our Tony.
Not intended to be funny on his sake, but for me, it was.
No, it was good. Hang on.
Birds are looking for a fight. The Brawling Birds are going to step into the ring tonight, and anytime they're in action, that's always something very exciting to watch. That's minutes away on Saturday night.
That's not, bro. Yeah.
And
you know
one
that.
Note, it's kind of an interesting thing backstage. I was approached by the winners of the $200,000 match.
He's doing his promo. Yeah, looking for a fight. And then Fletcher walked into the office and I asked Kyle, hey, man, do you got a joint? He said, no. Well, it'd sure be cool if you did.
It'd be a lot cooler if you did. That's how cool Tony thinks he actually is.
Yeah. Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Thing backstage. I was approached by the winners of the $200,000 match. They've been out spending
which one? You had 8 of those.
Their former World Tag Team Champions, Private Party. We saw them pick up a great 4-way win.
They're still around. Good for them. Keep collecting that paycheck.
And we saw that they defeated some of the top teams, their former champions, and they made a really impressive return to AEW. Private Party out looking for a fight tonight. And there's somebody to match up against them that they have a lot of history with.
Who's that?
You see, before Private Party won the championship, they stepped up to the Death Riders. John Moxley.
What? The Death
John Moxley has been out here. We've seen
Tell
John
us
Moxley,
this in a video package, Tony.
Ospreay, and he's looking to take on the top.
No one's watching this for details of the story.
And we saw John Moxley and Daniel Garcia, along with Marina Shafir, take on Skyflight, Zeta Steel, and Top Flight. Top Flight are top high flyers.
And
that was
like
a great
that.
match.
Hey, they're
top
high flyers.
Is that why they're called Top Flight? I had no
Buy
idea.
a used car from me. I promise it'll be good.
Put it in H.
Garcia are looking for a fight. Garcia's
looking for a fight.
I gotta give him credit. He's gone back to the well on this one.
Yeah, he
last
really
week
has.
there wasn't much going for a fight. This week, everybody's looking for a fight.
He watched it back. He's like, damn it, I didn't say my catchphrase.
close friend of Isaiah in particular. Really, Garcia and Private Party were close friends.
Of course.
Mox and Garcia,
we didn't know any about that.
Have stepped up to the challenge. It'll be Mox and Garcia versus Private Party tonight on AEW Collision. There's so many exciting things.
When were Garcia and Private Party friends?
Sometime on Collision when we weren't watching, maybe. I mean, was he dick
dancing? No, Top Flight are baby faces.
Was he dick dancing at Private Party's club? Is that what was going on?
Maybe back in the velvet rope. Maybe back when Daniel was babyface when he did
when he was dancing, when he was doing the dance. But he was doing the dance behind their.
The only time I could see them ever crossing paths.
Yeah, when they had the little like velvet rope they used to come out with, maybe he was behind there.
Yeah, eight switches of the cup so far.
Yeah, Jesus. I mean, he's averaging one per minute. That makes sense.
Taking place tonight. This is going to be such a big lineup. Multiple championship fights, multiple champions.
They're not
we have
fights,
the Continental champion, the TNT champion. We've got the International Championship at stake, and of course the Women's World Tag Team Championship at stake. And I can't wait for this Wednesday night. There's so much to look forward to in Winnipeg.
Oh, switched it too. Cover switch.
The cover switch.
Now. It's at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m.
One more.
Another switch.
AEW Collision tonight. Don't miss it.
No, there's somebody staring on the screen again, you dumb shit.
Oh, no. You were doing so well. We didn't have the countdown. They cut it off at the end, and we had the
great ending, too, with the smile and the thumbs up, and some stupid person put their finger in there.
Oh, and this jackass here with this guy. You ruined it, you jackass. Oh, man.
Did he make 10? Did he make 10 switches?
I believe he made 10. Yeah, because you said 8 and there was 2 more.
Okay.
Yeah, no, because he did the cover switch, which you thought was going to be the last one, and then he made one more because he wanted to give you the left-handed thumbs up. Is he left-handed? Is that his
I would imagine
dominant
he must
hand?
be. Yeah,
I would think so. Yeah, no, because I feel like most of the thumbs up are left-handed. Yeah, Jesus, that hurt me. Like that was just hard to watch at certain points of how much he was trying so hard to put stuff over where you got to tell us the storylines of the exposition where you don't need that in these promos. People are no one's watching this and thinking, "Oh, that's the storyline." Thanks, Tony. I'm gonna watch now. Like this. Words
of something for these people. Words of anything. Do what you gotta do. Promote the matches. That's fine. You can say they're looking for a fight. That's fine. You don't gotta repeat yourself that many times. You just gotta. Okay, Garcia's looking for a fight, and Top Flight answered the call. So Garcia and Moxley are gonna fight Top Flight tonight. Okay, on to the next. You don't got to give us all this. These fans, they know it already. They know everything already. So all you got to do is give them the goods. Give them the stuff they buy. They purchase the product. Give it to them.
Yeah, especially the 7,000 to 20,000 who watch his lives. Those are the people. They are in that 500,000 people that are watching every week. No,
that includes me too. I'm in both.
Yeah, exactly. I was saying we're in the ratings pool. We've been watching it every week for 6 months now. I mean,
I'm in the watching Tony live pool. That's
this is true. Yeah, no, my view comes afterwards of it, but I'm in the numbers afterwards of it. I don't. Yeah, I don't know why he would do that. It's get to the point, but that's where, I mean, the AEW Mole posted it yesterday. I think it was just like media training, please. And then we find out because Kyle Fletcher went out and tried to do damage control on his comment about All In being the worst for him, even though he ended Adam Cole's career like the night before or the week before or whatever. Like media training a little bit. And Tony, remember how Vince would say, I won't do anything, or I wouldn't ask you to do anything I wouldn't do. Take the media training with them, Tony. Get somebody in here who knows what they're doing. There's got to be a PR firm that they can hire that can help them with media training.
If they want to do it like it's a casual behind the scenes thing, I have no problem with that. But just don't keep repeating everything.
Yeah,
that's all.
No,
and then he makes a point, which is good. And then he just takes off and just travels somewhere and then comes back around for the next point. We don't know where that travel zone goes. But,
And if he wants to be shot from the waist up, fine, but you don't need to have, him in half the screen. You can crop that into a size where he's been, 3/4 of the screen is Tony, but still from the waist up, and get a microphone, have somebody who maybe is not going to put their thumb in front of the camera each time. Like, there's just, I'm not saying it's got to be professional.
No, not
just a little bit of media savvy training, just a bit, but that's our Tony.
Like you said, get the lapel mic.
Yes.
Step 1. Step 2, get somebody that's not going to put their fingers in front of the screen. Step 3, to shorten these down to 3 to 5 minutes and get your point across and sell the product.
Yeah.
That's it.
They should get they should be like, someone should get an iPad and have a 5-minute timer and then hit the right when he starts, and it's just counting down. And the goal is to finish before it does. That's it. Oh, we got another one from Regina. Hang on, here we go. Coming in with the super chat for another $5. Thank you so much. Tony makes the point. Tony makes a point. Then the next thing you know, he's off and the great space coaster in his head. Yeah, exactly. He's hit the great space coaster.
Regina got no sound effect for that one.
No, we've only got 3 sound effects. I'm run out of them.
Well, Regina's one of our better customers, you would think.
That's fair. I saw Great Space Coaster and I was gonna sing for her, so I thought that was enough. Okay. I did. You not hear me go Great Space Coaster? I told you that when you started singing. So. Yeah, you should have. But yes, I was coming in
like you would for me exactly the same way I did for you.
Valid. I was either that or the Magic School Bus. One of the two. It's just in his mind. Whee! No, Tony is the. Yeah, Tony is the ADD poster boy.
Yeah, because it's there. I mean, he does initially make his point, and then it just.
Yeah, and that's where concise, make it. That's where I'm saying you have a 5-minute countdown. Where only have it be 5 minutes or less. The closer to 3 or 4 minutes, the better. Be concise. Get your points across. You don't need to say the same thing 3 or 4 times.
Yeah,
it's I know people that do that sometimes in conversations and. I get it. You want to get your point across and make it, but I heard you the first time. I definitely heard you the second time. If you tell me a third time in the same conversation, I might punch you. Just stop. Drives you nuts.
I'm also 100% convinced that the cup is his security blanket.
Oh, for sure, because there's nothing in it. Sometimes there's stuff in it.
There was stuff in it the one day.
There was, yeah. And I've seen other times where when he's moved it, you can kind of see that it moved because there was stuff in it. But that time, it seemed like the cup was empty because of how light it was. It seemed like a bad Hallmark movie where it's an empty cup and it is when someone takes a drink out of it. And
at least he didn't do that. At least he didn't.
Yeah,
do that.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, he saves those for the press conferences with his fake drinks. But
he brings in the bottled water for those suckers. Those are all. Whenever you see those pictures of him backstage, there's always thousands of those big old bottles of water back there that are empty that he drinks, whatever the hell it is.
I'm surprised he can make it through the press conferences without having to go to the bathroom, unless maybe he is under the tape. I didn't want to say that. Why? Gross. But I'm sure he does. Now that I say it out loud, I bet he probably does.
You're gonna end the show on that.
I guess. Well, I mean, I'll end the show on some promos here. But I do.
Yes, do that instead, please.
Everybody for subscribing. We're up to 526 subscribers on the channel now. Getting, like I said, sometimes we'll get none in a week. We'll get 4 during the show. That's awesome. We thank and appreciate each and every one of you guys. Everyone who super chatted as well, especially Regina. Thank you so much for every donation and every help for our conversation. We'll be back here on Thursday at 9:30 p.m. Eastern for our AEW Dynamite review, where we watch the show so you don't have to. George and I review. Even if it's tough, we get through every segment, every match, every vignette, all of it, and we'll report back to you so you know what went on, but we don't have to watch the show. You can also catch me on Toonie Talk Wrestling every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern, where myself, Awful Wrestling, and Dis talk about the weekend wrestling news and what we can make fun of and laugh at. We usually have some fun Dave quotes and anything else that goes on with it. I'm sure Ricochet will bury himself again before Tuesday. And then next Sunday, George and I will be back here at 8:05 p.m. Eastern, going live for Sunday Night Spaces, where, this is the show that's our roundtable open discussion. So if you've got questions or things you want us to talk about, super chat them in. We are happy to discuss and talk about whatever the audience wants to. I think that's everything I need to promote as well. Please sure to, like, share, subscribe, hype the videos if you can as well.
So I think tomorrow's Monday, which means the hypes rehype.
The reset hype.
Do 3 a week, and usually I think it goes Sunday to Sunday or Monday to Monday. I'm not sure how they do it, but when this show posts and you have hypes, you're allowed to hype a video 3 times. Either spend one of your hypes with us. That's all I'm going to ask, and see if we can crack the top 100. As you hype, the next person hypes more and continues on down the line. So we're trying to break into that top 10, which is really difficult, but I think you guys can help us enough where we can squeeze in. This show right here, the Sunday Night Spaces show, hype.
Spend your hypes on that. No, I like that. That's a good way of putting it. I like that. We'll put him into that. And I'll make sure I've already showed my wife how to do it too, so we will try to add to the list. But I think we've gone along enough here tonight. So remember too, this Thursday and Sunday are the last 2 chances to get into the contest for the WWE shop gift cards. Thanks everybody for listening, and we will see you on Thursday. Peace, everybody.
Thanks for watching AltJake and George live on Spaces. Tune in on Thursdays at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time for AEW Live Review with AltJake and George.